There's a whisper that moves through time, a truth older than the wind, older than the turning of the earth. It says, no shadow can swallow the one chosen by light. No darkness can undo what heaven has already sealed. Every step you take, spicy ladies, is written in a script the enemy cannot edit. Even the highest demon must stop where the hand of God has drawn the line. You are not simply surviving. You are walking under an unbreakable decree. The storms may rage, but they will never rewrite your ending. And so we begin. Spicy ladies, today, I want to speak not to the noise in your mind, but to the deep part of you that already knows this truth. The quiet inner witness that has seen you stand when you thought you would fall. We live in a world where fear has a microphone, but your destiny has a seal no force can shatter. I am here to remind you of that seal, to name it, to let you feel it wrapping around you like a wall of stillness. You have walked through things others would not have survived. Sometimes you doubted if you would survive them yourself. But each time something carried you, not your own strength, not sheer luck, but a protection written into your existence. There is no word for it in the language of men, but the angels call it certainty. It is the mark of being chosen. Being chosen doesn't mean life is without battle. It means that in every battle there is already a limit to the harm that can reach you. It means the enemy can rage, but the outcome has been decided. Imagine a chess game where the last move is already set. No matter how the pieces dance, that's your life. And while fear will try to convince you otherwise, the truth remains like an unshakable mountain. You cannot be touched in the way they hope to touch you. You might wonder if I'm so protected. Why do I still feel pain? Why do I still face loss? Because protection doesn't mean insulation from life. It means insulation from destruction. Pain comes and goes, but destruction cannot enter. Loss may touch your hand, but it cannot break your soul. Even in the darkest nights, something unseen is holding you together. You are wrapped in something ancient, something before time, something no darkness can tear apart. This is why your enemies sometimes seem more frustrated than victorious. They throw their best at you and still you rise. They expect your ruin, but your ruin never comes. They can wound your body, but they cannot possess your spirit. They can slow your pace, but they cannot erase your path. They are fighting a war they have already lost. And somewhere deep inside, you know it. You felt it in those moments when you should have been finished, but you weren't. What they can't understand is that you don't stand because you are fearless. You stand because you are sealed. The seal is not visible to the human eye. It doesn't look like armor, but it is stronger than steel. It doesn't announce itself, but its silence is more powerful than their noise. It's the reason you've walked through seasons that others thought would crush you. It's the reason this will end them turned into their still here. Even now, forces may be moving against you. Words may be spoken. Plans may be plotted, but you will see them collapse under their own weight because nothing built against what God has marked can stand. This is not a theory. It is a law older than any law of man. The chosen walk with an invisible decree over their lives. You may come this far and no further. It is important that you know this not just in your mind, but in your bones. Fear will always try to make you believe you are unprotected, alone, exposed. But fear lies. Fear wants you to forget the times you've been pulled out of waters that should have drowned you. It wants you to forget the fires you've walked through without burning. But you, spicy ladies, have memory on your side. Your spirit remembers what your mind sometimes forgets. That the protection around you is not earned. It is given. It is not fragile. It is absolute. So walk through this day as one who cannot be undone. When the voices rise, let them. When the shadows stretch, let them. None of them have the authority to alter your ending. You are chosen, sealed, protected, and there is nothing that can rewrite that truth. Right now, if you are still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. If you find yourself here for the first time, welcome to Wisdom Ways. Here we speak to the deep, to the ancient, to the part of you that already knows. Subscribe so you never forget who you are. Some of you have carried wounds so deep they have become part of your story. They are the chapters you rarely open. the memories you would rather leave untouched. Yet even in those pages there was a presence. You may not have felt it at the time. Sometimes the shield is invisible until you look back. But it was there standing between you and the kind of breaking that leaves nothing behind. It didn't stop every blow, but it stopped the one that would have ended you. That is the nature of divine protection. It moves in ways we do not always recognize until years later. The enemy is skilled at whispering lies into our rawest moments. He tells you the pain proves you are abandoned. He tells you the delay means you are forgotten. He tells you the silence of heaven means there is no one watching over you. But what he doesn't tell you is that his whispers are born from frustration. Because even when you believe the lies, the truth remains untouched. His reach is shorter than he wants you to think. His access to you is smaller than he pretends. He is bound by the boundaries placed around your life. And no matter how much he rages, he cannot cross them. Every chosen one carries a light. Sometimes it flickers, sometimes it blazes, but it never goes out. This light is not a symbol. It is a weapon. It blinds those who would destroy you. It confuses those who plot against you. It draws the right people to you and exposes the wrong ones. This light is why some people, without knowing why, feel uneasy around you. They can't see what you carry, but they feel its weight. It is why certain rooms shift when you enter. Why certain situations open for you without explanation. You may think it's coincidence when an opportunity falls into place at the exact moment you need it. It's not. You may think it's luck when the wrong person leaves your life before they can do greater harm. It's not. These are the movements of the seal over your life. The chosen don't walk alone. They walk with an unseen alignment that turns what was meant for harm into the very thing that lifts them higher. Even the betrayals become part of your building. Even the delays become part of your preparation. The most dangerous thing you can do, spicy ladies, is forget this. Forgetting makes you live like you are unprotected. Forgetting makes you run when you could stand still. Forgetting makes you fight battles that are already won. The enemy wants you busy, distracted, swinging at shadows. But the chosen are not called to panic. They are called to stand. Standing is not weakness. It is the posture of those who know their covering is unshakable. There will be days when the covering feels distant. You will wonder if you misheard, if you misunderstood, if maybe you're just imagining that you've been chosen at all. But look at your history. Look at the situations that should have taken you out. Look at the nights you didn't think you'd see morning. Yet you did. Look at the betrayals that broke your heart but not your spirit. Look at the storms that touched your body but not your soul. That is not imagination. That is evidence. The chosen often live lives that don't make sense to outsiders. People will try to measure your journey by their logic, and they will fail. They will say, you should have fallen by now. You should have been destroyed. You should have lost your mind. But what they don't understand is that the measure of your life is not human logic. It's divine decree. You've been walking under a written promise that they cannot read. They see the surface. They don't see the script. And when you understand this, your life changes. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand. You stop begging for protection that is already yours. You stop making fear your counselor. Instead, you walk with a quiet authority. You know storms may come, but they have an expiration date. You know weapons may form, but they will not complete their work. You know that even in the darkest seasons, the seal over your life does not fade. This protection doesn't mean comfort every moment. It means preservation every moment. It doesn't mean you will never cry. It means your tears will never be the end of the story. It doesn't mean you will never be hit. It means the hit will never be the last word. And once you understand that, you stop measuring your life by the blows you take and start measuring it by the ways you rise after them. There is a quiet confidence that comes with being chosen. It's not arrogance. It's awareness. You become aware that nothing in your life is random. You become aware that every detour has a purpose. You become aware that no plan against you has the power to finish you. And in that awareness, you stop living as though you are at the mercy of circumstances. You start living as though you are walking through a story whose ending has already been sealed. I say this to you not so you can feel untouchable in the sense of pride, but so you can feel unshakable in the sense of peace. Because when you know you are sealed, You can face tomorrow without dread. You can look at challenges without panic. You can walk into unknowns without needing every answer first. You trust not because you are naive, but because you are aware of the truth beneath the noise. And the truth is this: no matter what the enemy plans, no matter what the world throws, no matter what storms rage, there is a boundary around your life that cannot be crossed. You are chosen. You are protected. And nothing can change that. There is a reason your path has felt both sacred and strange. A reason you've never quite fit into the patterns others follow. The chosen are often pulled away from the crowds, not because they are better, but because they are different by design. Your steps are marked, and so your journey cannot look like theirs. While others build on speed, you are called to build on depth. While others chase what is loud, you are drawn toward what is lasting. This difference is not a burden. It is your protection. It keeps you from being swept away by what destroys so many. From the outside, it may appear you've lost time. They will say you're behind, that you should have achieved more by now, that your pace is too slow, but slow for you is not the same as slow for them. Your timing is measured by eternity, not by the calendar on the wall. The unbreakable seal over your life means that even when you seem delayed, you are exactly where you are meant to be. This is why doors you thought you needed have closed, because they would have led you into harm. This is why opportunities you cried over losing had to slip away, because they would have distracted you from what was truly yours. Every chosen one knows what it feels like to be misunderstood. People misread your pauses as weakness. They misinterpret your quiet as uncertainty. But in reality, your quiet is listening. Your pauses are preparation. You are tuned to a frequency the world cannot hear. This is why you sense storms before they arrive. Why you feel unrest before things collapse. You are not overthinking. You are reading the unseen. And this ability is not for paranoia. It's for preservation. The enemy fears those who can see before it happens. That is why he tries to overload your senses with noise. He wants you too distracted to hear the warning, too busy to notice the shift, too tired to follow the signal. But when you return to stillness, the voice comes back. The guidance becomes clear. You remember that you are not walking blind. You are being led. And the one leading you has already mapped the path beyond the danger. Some of you are in seasons where everything familiar has been stripped away. The people you counted on are gone. The routines that kept you stable have been disrupted. The future feels like a blank page you're afraid to touch. But hear this, the empty space is not abandonment. It is rearrangement. It is making room for what aligns with the seal over your life. Sometimes the shield works by removing, not adding. It is a mercy disguised as loss. You may not see it yet, but the protection that feels painful now will prove itself in time. When the chosen face isolation, it is not punishment. It is training. Isolation teaches you to hear without interference. It strengthens your reliance on the unseen. So when you return to the noise, you are not swayed by it. The enemy hates your solitude because it makes you stronger. He would rather keep you endlessly surrounded, endlessly distracted, endlessly pulled in directions that scatter your strength. But the seal draws you away, not to leave you empty, but to fill you with clarity. You might be wondering why, if you are so protected, you still face betrayals. Why the people you trusted the most could still hurt you. The truth is the seal does not prevent every wound. It prevents the wound from defining you. Betrayals are allowed only when they serve to shift you closer to what is meant for you. Sometimes the only way to move you from what is unsafe is to let the false thing break. The pain is real, but it is not wasted. The betrayal that feels like the end is often the very crack that lets the light of truth in. The chosen carry resilience that can't be taught in comfort. It is forged in seasons of stripping, in days when the only thing left to hold is the promise that you are still marked for more. That resilience confuses those who expect you to stay down. They think the loss of a relationship, a job, a dream will finish you. But you rise not because you didn't care, but because you know you are still within the boundaries of divine protection. And as long as you are within that, there is always more ahead. This is the quiet power of the chosen. You can lose what others think is everything and still walk away whole. You can be pressed but not crushed. You can be wounded but not destroyed. You can be delayed but not denied. And the reason is simple. Your life is not random. It is not open to every force that wants to interfere. It is guarded by a will stronger than any will against you. So let them misunderstand you. Let them think you're behind. Let them think you're too quiet, too cautious, too different. They don't need to understand what the seal over your life requires. You are not living for their pace, their approval, or their comprehension. You are living for the alignment of something greater. And when that alignment clicks into place, the same people who doubted you will not be able to explain how you arrived. When you walk as the chosen, you learn not to measure success the way the world does. You measure it by faithfulness, by how well you kept walking when nothing made sense, by how often you listened when it would have been easier to ignore, by how consistently you trusted that you were still under the covering even in silence. This is success for the chosen. Not applause, not speed, not visibility, but endurance under the seal. So, wherever you are now, whether in the middle of loss, the middle of waiting, or the middle of rebuilding, remember this. The path may twist, but the seal does not break. The silence may stretch, but the protection does not weaken. You are still marked, still guarded, still held. And that is why even now you are unshakable. There comes a point in the journey of every chosen one where the evidence of protection becomes undeniable. You stop wondering if it's real, and you start living from the certainty that it is. At first, this awareness feels almost fragile, like you could lose it if you're not careful. But over time, it settles into your bones. It becomes the ground you walk on, the air you breathe. And when you reach that point, fear loses its hold. Not because fear stops speaking, but because its voice is no longer convincing. You begin to notice patterns. The things that once would have broken you now barely shake you. The storms that used to send you running now only make you dig your feet in deeper. You see the difference between attack and access. Many can attack, but few are allowed access. And you understand that even the attacks are allowed only when they serve the greater story. You stop being shocked when the unexpected happens because you trust that nothing is truly unexpected to the one who holds your life. The chosen often find themselves walking roads others avoid. Sometimes you will be called into places of tension, into conversations that feel heavy, into work that demands more of you than you thought you could give. This is not because you are being punished. It is because you are trusted. The protection over your life makes you able to stand in places that would crush others. You can be the calm in the chaos, the clarity in the confusion, the still point in the storm. Not because you are naturally stronger, but because you are supernaturally sustained. There will be people who mistake your endurance for ease. They will assume you are untouched by life's struggles, not realizing that you have simply learned how to carry them differently. You know when to fight, when to wait, and when to let the battle pass you by, because it was never yours to fight in the first place. This wisdom is part of the seal. It keeps you from exhausting yourself in wars that have already been won on your behalf. The chosen live with a strange kind of freedom. It is not the absence of challenge, but the absence of ultimate threat. It is the ability to move forward even in uncertainty because you know that uncertainty is not danger. It is simply space for the next miracle to unfold. You stop demanding that every path be lit before you take the first step. You walk because you trust the hand that leads even when the road is hidden in shadow. There is also a humility that comes with being chosen. You understand that this protection is not something you earned. It is something you were given. It is not a badge of superiority. It is an assignment. And with it comes the responsibility to carry yourself differently, to speak differently, to live in a way that honors the one who placed the seal over you. You know, the covering is not just for you. It is for the impact you are meant to have on others. Some of the people who meet you will never know why their life shifted after crossing paths with you. They will not realize that your presence carries a peace that is not your own. They will not see the shield that surrounds you, but they will feel safer when you are near. This is one of the quiet mysteries of being chosen. Your covering often extends to those connected to you, protecting them in ways they will never be able to explain. And perhaps this is the greatest sign of all, that your life is not just preserved for your sake, but to preserve others as well. You are a walking testimony of what cannot be touched. And in a world that feels constantly at risk, that testimony is a rare and needed thing. People will draw courage from your steadiness. They will find hope in your endurance. They will believe in protection because they see it in you. So keep walking even when you don't see the full picture. Keep trusting even when the silence feels endless. Keep standing even when you are surrounded by movement. Because the truth is this: the chosen do not survive by accident. They are kept on purpose. And as long as that purpose remains, so does the seal. You, spicy ladies, are here not just to live, but to live under the kind of protection that makes your very existence a declaration. The enemy could not touch me, and he never will. The seal has no cracks. It has no expiration. It does not wear thin with time. You will leave this world still carrying it. Until then, every breath you take is within its boundaries. Every choice you make is guided by its wisdom. Every step you take is protected by its strength. And nothing, not loss, not fear, not the highest demon, can cross the line it has drawn around you. And so we end here not with an answer, but with a reminder. You are chosen. You are sealed. You are walking through a story that has been protected since before you were born. The world may roar, but its roar cannot rewrite your ending. When you leave this moment, carry that truth like a cloak around your shoulders. Let it remind you that no step you take is unguarded. No breath you breathe is unprotected. And when the shadows stretch across your path, walk forward anyway. You are untouchable in the ways that matter most. This is Wisdom Ways. And if your spirit feels lighter now than when you arrived, stay with us. Let these words meet you again in the moments you forget. Until next time, keep walking, chosen one. Somewhere inside you, there's a voice that is softer than the noise, but stronger than the world. It is the voice that remembers who you are even when you forget. Choose Yourself Softly was written for that voice. It is not a push, but an invitation, a return, not a race. For the woman who is tired of proving, tired of rushing, tired of hard edges in a hard world. For the Sigma woman who walks her own road quietly, gently yet with unshakable strength. This book is a slow unfolding, a way back to yourself without apology, without guilt, without the weight of expectation. Inside you will find words that feel like breathing space, like light through a half-open window, like a hand resting in yours. You will not be told to be louder, faster, or more. You will be reminded that you are already enough. If your heart is ready to loosen its grip on what hurts, to draw boundaries without walls, to move at a pace that feels like yours, then this is your moment. Let these pages be the pause you've been longing for. Let them be the gentle map home. The link is waiting for you in the description and the first pinned comment. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies, make life beautiful. Thank you for watching, and God bless.